What's up, Asia? It's your girl, Sheryl. Of course I heard the announcement. Listen, I just want to say from a former 22 to another 22, congratulations.
When you look at other athletes who have or are getting their own signature shoes, and Asia getting hers, and I know it's going to be good because it's Asia.
I love the way she dropped it.
Iconic.
Iconic with the sweatshirt.
Her apostrophe is a swoosh. I recorded a video and sent it to her because it was like, I don't know if I ever thought that I would be seeing this. In a way, I kind of felt like I was passing the torch.
Yes.
And not only being the first woman, but being the first black woman. And for Asia to be only the second black woman to get her own signature shoe is, yeah.
It's thanks to you.
After Asia Wilson kept it a secret for 2 years. And now Sheryl Swoopes wants to act like a proud auntie? Congratulating her for a well-kept secret while Caitlin Clark got dragged for getting a Nike deal? Asia Wilson was chilling, sipping sweet tea, watching the internet set flames on Caitlin Clark for nothing. The fakeness is off the charts manipulation. Let's break it down.
They've always been the brand, the company that thinks outside of the box. And I always say somebody had to be the first. And I was blessed enough and lucky enough that I got to be the first.
Oh, so now Sheryl Swoopes wants to play nice? Now she's over here congratulating Asia Wilson on her new Nike shoe like she didn't spend all last season acting like Caitlin Clark was just some random girl hooping at the YMCA. We remember, Sheryl. We remember.
If we say her stats are today, what?
20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But 5
That's crazy.
Is that
Those are hell of a number.
Those are hell of a numbers.
rookie.
But to me, that's not dominating.
Yeah, it's only not dominating because she's a rookie.
Now,
If
if
she's putting up numbers like Asia right now, would she be dominating?
yes.
So it's a
Let's be real. Asia Wilson knew this shoe was coming. She been knew. Nike had her name on that sneaker contract in permanent ink. But did she let that stop her from sitting back, sipping her tea, and watching the internet roast Caitlin Clark alive over her shoe deal? Oh, absolutely not. Asia had front row seats to the drama and didn't lift a single finger to tell folks, hey y'all, chill, my shoe is coming too. Nope. She let the streets burn.
Asia Wilson was oddly silent, but complicit. All right, why was she complicit? Because, well, she knew she was getting a signature shoe for 2 years, and she let Caitlin Clark take all that hate.
See, here's what happened. Caitlin Clark, in her fresh-faced rookie glow, pulls up and signs the biggest rookie shoe deal in WNBA history. And the internet lost its entire mind. People were foaming at the mouth, demanding justice for Asia like she was out here barefoot. Where is Asia's shoe? They screamed at Nike headquarters, probably causing some poor intern to drop his iced coffee. And Asia? She just sat there, probably texting her group chat like, y'all see this? They real mad, huh?
How could they give Caitlin a shoe before they give Asia one? Oh, how could they do this? How could they treat Asia like this? 2-time MVP at the time, just before she even won the damn third one. They is wrong for doing this. You want to know what?
And then, boom. Nike drops the Asia Wilson shoe like it's a plot twist in a telenovela. And instead of folks being like, oh, okay, we were just impatient, they doubled down like, nah, Caitlin still don't deserve hers. And guess who was somewhere lurking in the shadows, co-signing the foolishness? That's right. Sheryl, hater supreme, Swoopes.
They're giving Asia Wilson her own signature shoe. There you go. Anybody. I want the Asia Wilson. Who? Why? Yeah, she's some WNBA player. Who? No, she's one of the all-time greatest players ever. Why? Who? Huh?
Let's talk about Sheryl Swoopes, real quick. Miss I invented women's basketball herself. Last season, when Caitlin Clark was out here shattering records like a toddler with an iPad, did Sheryl Swoopes show love? No. She acted like Caitlin Clark was just a casual hooper who got lucky. Every time someone tried to give Caitlin her flowers, Sheryl was there with the lawnmower cutting them down. Now, suddenly, she's the queen of congratulations? Girl, please. And let's not pretend like Asia's hands are clean in this either. She knew what was happening. She could have tweeted, "Hey y'all, I got a shoe coming, don't worry." But she saw the internet eating Caitlyn alive and said, "Nah, let them cook." Now, I'm not saying she set Caitlyn up, but she definitely didn't send a life raft either. At the end of the day, both ladies got their shoe deals, both are making bank, and Nike is over there rubbing their hands together like an evil villain because they got exactly what they wanted. Free promo from the messiness of it all. But the real MVP? The internet. Because y'all turned one shoe deal into a full-blown conspiracy theory. And I, for one, respect the commitment to the drama.
Because there are very few roster spots. Like, it's a real job. So people look at new players coming in, whether that's out of college, players who've been overseas, and they look at that and say, "Oh, you trying to come take my job?" Like, nah, it's not gonna be that easy. So will Caitlin Clark be a good pro? Absolutely. Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now? Immediately? Absolutely not.
Now, let's talk about Nike. Oh, Nike, the swoosh of betrayal. The same brand that took one look at A'ja Wilson's dominance and said, "Yeah, let's wait a few more years," is now acting like they've been down since day one. A'ja finally gets her signature shoe. Finally. But instead of this being a moment of pure celebration, we got drama, debates, and Sheryl Swoopes out here on a full-blown protection detail. Like she just got assigned to the Secret Service. Nike can't even acknowledge Caitlin Clark. It's like they woke up one day and decided, you know what? Let's just pretend Caitlin doesn't exist. You think I'm joking? In their latest ad, they straight up forgot her. Imagine dropping a women's basketball commercial and forgetting the only person making headlines every single day. The backlash was so bad they had to rush back into the studio and edit a voiceover in, like some last-minute group project panic.
Oh, that's right. I didn't hear Caitlin Clark's name. That's why we don't jump for joy when Nike does one good thing. Oh, one good thing. Nike's Nike at the end of it. There's a reason why their stock has been crashing.
And what about A'ja Wilson? Oh, you mean the self-proclaimed face of the league, who's suddenly under investigation by the basketball gods? Yeah, her career is in shambles. You'd think she got caught up in some massive scandal the way people are questioning her legacy now. But nah, all she did was exist at the same time as Caitlin Clark, and apparently, that was enough to put her whole reputation in a chokehold. The funniest part? Caitlin is somehow getting blamed for everything. Like people are acting like she sat in a dark room twirling her mustache, plotting A'ja Wilson's downfall. Be so for real. She didn't do anything but hoop and exist, and now they're looking at her like, you could have stopped this, Caitlin. Oh yeah? Was she supposed to call up Nike headquarters and say, "Hey guys, you sure you got the final cut of that ad? Don't forget to include me because, you know, I'm kind of the biggest thing happening in women's basketball."
And we'll throw the voiceover in of you saying Caitlin Clark and everybody will be happy, right? Everybody will be happy, right? I mean, at the end of the day, everybody cheered because we had a little Caitlin Clark cameo on a commercial. So this should be enough. So this is what they ended up doing with Caitlin Clark.
You want to know what I'm selling? Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark. I know you want a tee.
Okay.
Nike.com. You.
Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark. I know you want a tee. Nike. I was born that night. I was. I woke up today. I saw this. I checked my birth certificate just to make sure. Yeah, I was born at night. Not last night, Nike. Not last night.
But let's be honest. Nike isn't the only one scrambling. The WNBA is out here acting like they just discovered basketball exists. They've been begging people to watch their league for years. And now that millions of people are tuning in for Caitlyn, they suddenly don't know what to do with themselves. Like, oh no, too many eyes. We weren't ready for this kind of pressure. Meanwhile, Asia Wilson is looking around like, wait a minute. Y'all don't think I'm the GOAT anymore? No, Asia. They don't. Because being the best doesn't just mean winning a couple of rings in a league that barely had any competition. It means moving the game forward. And guess who did that? Caitlin Clark. And don't even get me started on Sheryl Swoopes. The way she's been moving lately, you'd think she had personal beef with Caitlin Clark. Every time someone asks her about Caitlyn, she sounds like an old head mad that new music exists. Back in my day, we had to walk 10 miles in the snow just to get a game on national TV. Okay, Grandma, and nobody told you to play basketball when the WNBA was running on spare change and hopes. The league has evolved, and instead of celebrating that, she's out here gatekeeping greatness.
Sheryl Swoopes' hatred for Caitlin Clark is just weird at this point. No disrespect to one of the GOATs, because Sheryl Swoopes is one of the greatest women's basketball players of all time, hands down, ain't no ifs, ands, or but about it. But for whatever reason, she do not mess with Caitlin Clark at all. And Sheryl Swoopes is coming for anybody who has anything to say about it.
You know what's crazy? If Caitlin Clark had said one bad thing about Asia Wilson or anyone else, they would have dragged her for weeks. But Asia? She's been talking spicy, taking all kinds of backhanded shots, and everyone's just like, oh, she's just passionate. Nah, she's just mad. Mad that no matter what she does, the conversation isn't about her anymore. And the thing is, Caitlyn could have gone full villain mode and actually ended careers. But she didn't. She's just minding her business, draining threes, and breaking records while the rest of them sit around trying to figure out why nobody cares about their era anymore. Like, sorry, Asia, but being dominant in a league nobody was watching doesn't hit the same when there's a new sheriff in town.
For people out there that don't think Caitlin Clark is the reason and the driving force behind the WNBA, I don't know how many times I have to say this. She just got the most votes for a WNBA player compared to Asia Wilson last year. And here it is right here. Caitlin Clark had 735,000 votes compared to Asia Wilson last year with 95,000. How can anyone sit here and say that Caitlin Clark is not the driving force behind the It's at this point, I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record.
So now we're at a point where Nike had to pull a last-minute Hail Mary just to include Caitlin Clark in a commercial because they knew if they didn't, the backlash would be nasty. Meanwhile, Asia Wilson is watching her so-called legacy get tossed in the air like a loose rebound. And Sheryl Swoopes? Well, she's somewhere writing another paragraph about how Caitlyn needs to respect the game, aka pretend she isn't the biggest thing to happen to it since they started actually paying players real money.
They voice over it.
Sell it. Rookie of the year, Caitlin Clark.
She's not even...
I know you want a tea.
Okay. She's not even talking. Like, she's silent, and two, it's a voiceover.
Sell it. Rookie of the year, Caitlin Clark. I know you want a tea.
Okay. So someone edited that in post-production. They put a voiceover. They made her send him through voicemail with the Caitlin Clark parts to appease us. Like, that's hilarious.
At this point, I will say Nike does not like Caitlin Clark either. At least when all hell was let loose against Caitlin Clark over the shoe deal, why didn't Nike speak up and say, hey guys, we got something coming for Asia Wilson? No, they kept mute. Now let's be real. Asia deserved this shoe years ago. She's been out here running the WNBA like a personal highlight reel, stacking MVPs like coupons at Target. But suddenly, the conversation ain't even about the shoe. Nope. It's about the fact that Sheryl Swoopes has decided to be the official spokesperson of Team Asia and the unofficial bouncer for this season MVP discussion.
Sheryl Swoopes, you beautiful, actually not so beautiful. You tell us that, well, Caitlin Clark used an extra year. She did. Shoots 40 times a game. She did. Sheryl Swoopes is among the dumbest people ever and one of the most talented ever. Really, if you look at Sheryl Swoopes' basketball history, she certainly should be considered among the greats. But all that goes away when you're inherently stupid.
Caitlin Clark? Oh, she thought she was in the race. But here comes Swoopes like a nightclub security guard, blocking the entrance. Nah, sweetie. We at full capacity. You can watch from the outside. Caitlin is at the velvet rope with a fresh pair of Nike GT hustles on, hoping to get in, and Swoopes is just staring her down like, "Not on my watch." And let's talk about how Asia could have used this moment to be the leader she is. Maybe throw some love Caitlin's way. Make sure she's not getting chewed up by every WNBA vet who's still holding a grudge against ESPN's coverage. But nope. Instead, Swoopes is in full big sister who takes things too far mode, making sure nobody even thinks about debating the MVP. Like, girl, relax. The season is still going. We got plenty of games left. This is like calling the winner of a marathon at mile 10 while the runner in second place is gaining speed. And honestly, if Caitlin so much as sneezes near 30 points per game and the Fever start winning, we might need some extra security to keep Swoopes from hijacking the ESPN studio set.
I want to say literally maybe a day before my jersey retirement.
Okay.
And they were like stunned, like, and then I think my mom was like, yep, of course, I knew it was going to be pink. Like, they all knew they had to do something with pink, but they were just so happy. My dad, I think he was...
Caitlin Clark has been putting in the work. She's been grinding behind the scenes, dedicating herself to her craft, and making sure she's ready for every challenge ahead. But what's wild is that despite all of this, there's been this ongoing debate and, frankly, unnecessary negativity surrounding her. The latest situation with Asia Wilson is just another example of how certain players are held to different standards, and Caitlin's fans are making it clear. They won't let her be disregarded the way Asia has been. For years, Asia Wilson has been one of the most dominant forces in the WNBA, but she hasn't always received the respect she deserves, even from brands like Nike. Now, with Caitlin stepping onto the professional stage, her fans are making sure she doesn't face the same lack of recognition. They're calling out the double standards and demanding respect not just for Caitlin, but for women's basketball as a whole. The constant disrespect needs to stop, and it's time for a shift in how star players, regardless of race, background, or fan base, are treated in the league.
This is what people don't want to forget to understand. Caitlin Clark is not just leading the country in scoring, she's leading the country in assists. So before people shit on her and say all she does is shoot the ball, she actually is the one dishing the ball too. She placed a record last week, and everyone is congratulating her. You name the person, they are congratulating her. Starting with the woman whose record she broke, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Tom Brady, Calvert Chaney, Brittany Griner, Gus Johnson, Zach Edey, Dame Lillard, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Jackie Stiles, Alex Morgan, a U.S. soccer player, Billie Jean King, Barack Obama, the former president of the United States, Pat McAfee, Magic Johnson, Dawn Staley. These are just some of the names that I found that actually congratulated her publicly for what she did, for that accomplishment. You know who they? Sheryl Swoopes.
As we move into the new season, it's clear that Caitlin is going to have a target on her back. Whether it's from critics, opposing players, or even the media, she's going to face people who want to see her fail. But knowing her, she'll let her game do the talking. The Indiana Fever are looking to build something special, and while a championship may not come overnight, the team is determined to compete at the highest level. But as this season unfolds, all eyes will be on the court, where the real statements are made. So, congrats to Asia on the new shoe. Congrats to Caitlin on being Nike's golden child. And congrats to Sheryl Swoopes for once again finding a way to be unnecessarily pressed about a woman who has literally done nothing to her. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.